Welcome to TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John, that's my cohort in commentary, Ashton, and this is our NXT review. And we are still in the Barclays Center for this hour and a half episode of NXT. And I gotta say, man, this is a strong episode. I didn't feel worn down at all for the hour. Got a lot of good fallout from NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. The matches that were advertised, I think were about what you expected, and a very fun main event with some potentially interesting implications for the future. Overall, I'd give this show a very strong grade, a very big thumbs up, if you will. What'd you think of it?
Absolutely. There was a lot of filler on this show, a lot of kind of recapping what happened at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn and that kind of stuff, but the stuff that was new was very good.
Absolutely, Ashton. You know what? I think I can forgive the filler, if for no other reason, because, I mean, immediately next week, we're right back in it. You know, it's right back to the grind with this Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic that's starting, which we got some information about tonight, which is also incredibly enlightening. So, yeah, I think for the filler that it was, you know, it was necessary, given that we're just going to go right back to full speed next week. So, yeah, this is a nice episode of NXT here.
I think if nothing else, the thing that this show did most for me was get me hyped about next week.
Yes,
I
definitely,
cannot
completely agree.
wait to start this Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, and I can't wait to see what kind of creative teams they come up with down there in NXT. And from what I understand, they are also going to be I don't know if it'll be a one-time only thing or if they're introducing them as new kind of mainstay talent or what, but apparently they're bringing in some indie guys. I know for a fact that Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano are supposed to be a part of this thing as a team.
So that's the role they serve, because you and I saw the image of Gargano and Ciampa, you know, entering the, making an entrance.
Yeah.
Uh, you know what I like about this Tag Team Classic is there's still a little bit of ambiguity there. I mean, are the vaudevillains going to be in it? Are they going to be watching from the outside? Is the winner of this thing going to be contenders? Or, you know, how is this all going to shake out? So I'm very excited for it. But that is next week. We still got to talk about this week. And let's start with our first segment, Heat of the Night. I don't have a heat of the night. I don't have a nitpick. I felt like for an hour and a half special of NXT to kind of round out the time in the Barclays Center, this is a really enjoyable episode. So no heat
Absolutely.
of the
Yeah,
night.
I completely I'll definitely just, concur everything that you just said.
There you go. So let's roll right on through to our NXT review. And partner, how do we open this baby up?
We opened this baby up with the hypest thing ever, and I'm not even talking about Mojo Rawley, even though he was a part of this match. I'm talking about Enzo and Big Cass kicking off the show in this Brooklyn crowd. I mean, it doesn't matter where Enzo and Cass go, they're going to be over, but this seems like the most over they've ever been.
Oh my God, they loved Enzo and Cass here, and it makes perfect sense. I mean, it's Brooklyn, New York. I mean, you think about, you know, their promos where they come from. I mean, you know, they're home. They're home here. And, you know, it's this type of reaction that I was completely sympathetic to the viewpoint of a lot of people that it should have been Enzo and Cass in the Vaudevillains place at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, because the pop they would have gotten if they had won the titles at that show, you would have had to call the contractor the next day because there would have been no roof on the building. But,
I
you
think
know,
that I understand it exclusively because as long as Enzo and Cass get called up before the next takeover, I'll be happy with it. Because if they don't get called up by the next takeover, I'll feel like it was a waste because that would have at least given them a 2-month run with the belts. And that's honestly, I don't think they would ever ask for more.
I don't think they would ask for more either. I mean, they're one of the best acts. I mean, here's the thing, guys. I keep saying consistently that the New Day is the best act on the main roster, and that's true. They might have competition. In fact, they will have competition definitively when Enzo and Cass come up, because how they work a microphone and how they work a crowd is just insane. And they had a really easy time doing it. In fact, Enzo even says in his promo, we're going to get right down to brass tacks. They don't need to do all the other shtick to warm the crowd up. This crowd knows their shtick. It's like their Bible, for God's sakes, how they're receiving these guys. And then, you know, Enzo says, you know, he goes hard and Cass goes hard. And their opponents, well, they're SAWFT. And then they have the crowd do soft, which is just thunderous. So, yeah, Enzo and Cass, a hero's welcome, so to speak, for these two guys.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, they like you said, they blew the roof off the building. And I think that, sure, them winning the NXT tag titles would have made this place explode, but if they would have been in that match, it would have been even more obvious than the Vaudevillains.
That's true. That's very true. Then of course their tag partners, the Hype Bros, who nobody really cares about. I actually read a report that they may be coming up together on the main roster soon, so it'll just be Zack Ryder, who's already there, and then Mojo Rawley just coming up. And no, I want to keep the bile down my throat thinking about it. So then we move on to the opposition of Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder, the Mechanics, and Jason Jordan and Chad Gable. Like the music, I agree with Ashton. He had a critique when we were talking about the Titantron. It just says Jason Jordan on it, Chad Gable gets the cold shoulder. Love the ring attire though. I dig the coordinated singlets. The red and grayish silver looked like. So that was good stuff. And overall, a fun 8-man tag for an opener, Ashton. I enjoyed this.
Definitely. I mean, the crowd, it's funny because the crowd was super hot on Enzo, Cass, Gable, and Ryder.
Yeah.
And it was almost in that exact order, too, from most to least.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
But they didn't like anyone else.
Yeah, they were pretty mad for everybody else.
Didn't care about Mojo. I will say the Mechanics got pretty good heat. I heard some definite boos going on for them. People were pretty much apathetic towards Gable, or not Gable, Jason Jordan. Although commentary did a great job of putting him over. And from what I could tell, there was just, very, very meek, kind of trending towards the negative side reaction for Mojo.
Which is to be expected because we all hate Mojo Rawley. Yeah, I enjoyed Chad Gable's work, really working over the arm of Enzo Amore. I even liked how he was taunting, with his partners because he knew he had control of the arm, and he's like, "You want me to break it?" And they were all like, "Yeah." So Gable's almost got this like sadistic naivete about him. Like he knows he could break a potty part. He knows he could contort you until you can't even be recognized, and yet he just thinks it's some kind of game. It's just a competition for him. Which I really like that mentality. Cass's hot tag really was well received. I liked how the heels did enough work where they really made them want Cass to get in the match, made the hot tag mean more.
It's funny because they do the "We want Enzo" chants, and then Enzo gets in the ring, and he has this little bit of fire, but then once he starts getting beat up and 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 beat up, then finally the crowd starts really wanting, like, okay, Enzo is getting his ass kicked. We need to get someone in there that can take care of it. Let's bring in Big Cass. We want Cass. We want Cass. I think it's so cool the way they work.
Yeah, Enzo and Cass, they had a pretty cool double team moment in this match where Cass just pretty much threw Enzo over the rope onto the outside. That was pretty cool. And yeah, Cass's hot tag again blew the roof off the place. That's when the match really started to lose all control. Zack Ryder ate the shatter machine, which I loved.
Yeah.
I was very grateful to Dawson and Wilder for that. It came down to Cass and Gable. Cass with that huge spinning sidewalk slam, and then he does the assisted splash with Enzo, and Enzo pins Gable. So, Gable and Jordan, do technically taste defeat. I mean, it's an 8-man tag. As far as, regular 1-to-1 tag team action, they're still pretty dominant. But I'm wondering if we're going to get a few Enzo and Cass versus Jordan and Gable matches now, and maybe they can just start to, come back and get some of that heat back. We'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, was it was Wilder that ate the pin in this, right?
No, Gable ate the pin in this.
Oh,
which surprised me. Yeah, it surprised me, but he did.
Yeah, all right, well, man, I didn't even notice that, so I'm glad that you did.
Yeah, I took note of it because I'm like, are they really going to let Gable get pinned, in this kind of a format, whatever, and they did. But like we always say with certain competitors, best they get out of the way early. I'm still looking forward to just Jordan and Gable's run, by themselves towards the tag titles, because them versus the Vaudevillains is a match I definitely want to see. So, yeah, excited for that.
Definitely. All right, let's see here then. Next, we had William Regal reminding us that the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic would be starting the following week, that being next week, September 2nd. But Neville shows up, of all people, and asks for the right to join in on the tournament. He wants to kind of, dedicate this kind of stuff to Dusty. He feels like everything that Dusty did for him, he wants to give a little bit back by joining in on this tournament. And Regal says that if anybody deserves this spot, it would be you. So he's going to make it happen.
I love it. Because, I mean, Regal at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, he hyped this tournament up as, past, present, and future, a whole array of teams. Some we know, some we don't know, just this whole thing. So Neville throwing his hat in the ring and bringing a partner that we don't even know who the partner is going to be really, really exciting.
I
So
was
already,
suggesting it would be great if he brought back Oliver Gray from when they were the first ever NXT Tag Team Champions. Neville and Adrian Neville and Oliver Gray were the first ever NXT Tag Champs.
honestly, dude, with the names that NXT's been acquiring, who knows if they want to get Oliver Gray in solely for this tournament? I mean, really, who freaking knows? So I'll tell you what, though, Neville's participation just makes me even more intrigued for this tournament than I already was, and that's saying something. So I can't wait for this Tag Team Classic to get underway.
Yeah, man, it's this is the most exciting thing that I've seen in NXT. Obviously, not taking like, oh my god, this single match was amazing, but actual just kind of an event happening in NXT. I would say ever.
Well, I mean, NXT does tournaments brilliantly, and that's why anytime NXT has a tournament, I'm full attention. So this is going to be good stuff.
It seems like they never really go the exact direction you think they will too, because like I remember the women's the tournament to crown the first ever women's champion, and everyone was thinking it was going to come down to Charlotte and Paige, right?
Right.
Came down to Charlotte and Natty.
Right, yeah.
So, and that wasn't even the first ever women's. No, you know what? That's completely wrong because that was after Paige surrendered the title, and it was the tournament to crown the second. And I think that people were just not expecting Natalya to make it to the finals because she was from Raw and that kind of stuff. So I'm guessing that that's kind of a similar thing to what they're going to do with this, where they're going to have the team that they intend to win make it to the finals as well as a more established team.
I would agree with that. Sure. Yeah, that sounds good to me, man.
So, all right. Up next, we had a Finn Balor interview from right after he had his ladder match with Kevin Owens at TakeOver Brooklyn. Really, all he really says is that he proved that Tokyo wasn't a fluke and that he is a deserving NXT champion.
Yeah, he says that NXT is moving on to bigger and better things, and the future is now. So, pretty by the numbers promo there from the champion Finn Balor. No complaints here.
And then we got an Emma video package, which was pretty good. Pretty much something that we've seen quite a few times, though. It's just kind of her explaining why she, quote unquote, turned to the dark side.
Yeah, I dug it. All these women got video packages tonight. Emma, I liked it because at first it kind of shows like babyface clips, and I'm like, wait, did she turn again? But then it like makes a bubble popping sound effect, which I like, and then yeah, it does show that turn to the dark side. So really well done video package. I enjoyed it.
Okay. So now we go straight from that to a Charlotte Becky Lynch interview. And they talk about Dana trying to kind of prove herself as this dominant thing and Emma being her lapdog. Becky with an amazing pun talking about how she likes dogs, but she's not a fan of Australian shepherds because they're rough.
Yeah.
I love Becky Lynch so much.
I know you can appreciate a good pun, my friend. Yeah, I enjoyed this promo. This is good stuff from PCB. I mean, hell, this is already leagues better than the Miz TV segment that we got on Raw. So, again, no complaints here. I enjoy Charlotte and Becky, and yeah, definitely heightens the intrigue for the Fatal 4-Way.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Now, though, we kind of transition straight into a Becky Lynch video package.
Yeah, again, same sentiments as the Emma one. I think it perfectly captures who Becky Lynch is, what she's about. Even calls out Nikki Bella in this promo. Keep it current and relevant with her on the main roster with PCB. And yeah, just I feel like it was really well done, and just reminds everybody that Becky Lynch, even with her personality demonstrated on the mic about being hyperactive and this and that, very serious competitor between the ropes. So good stuff.
Yeah, and then next we had our second match of the night. Eva Marie versus Carmella. Now, I do have notes on this match, however brief they may be. I just think that Carmella put everything into this match to try and get it over with the crowd, and it worked for the most part. But it's one of those things where Eva Marie just isn't good, and Carmella isn't good enough to carry someone like Eva Marie to a great match, or even a good match, I would say.
Yeah, I feel bad for Carmella because she had the home field advantage, and no doubt that she's not awful, and she's certainly grown from her first match that we saw her in. But you're right, Ashton. She's just not at that level right now to be able to carry somebody like Eva into a match where you and I could just kind of give it a pass and not really scrutinize it too much. Have more confidence in Carmella, though, to reach that point than I ever would Eva.
Yeah.
So, I feel like she got a raw deal
Carmella's
here.
got some natural athleticism to her. Eva has zero.
Exactly, and that's just the issue. That's the issue you highlighted in Eva Marie's first match, and it carries over here. Honestly, folks, the most heelish thing she did for me personally was in the post match, and she's celebrating and she's making the belt motion with her waist because it shows she's coming for that NXT Women's title, and I'm like, oh god, because then you just think about NXT Takeover Brooklyn, and the moment that Bayley, Sasha, and really the four horsewomen had when you figure the reception of the post match. And then you just see Eva's image cutting in, and just everything dies. I'm not feeling good about this at all.
No, I mean, she did have one decent heel spot where she was doing the SAWFT thing while she had Carmella in kind of a seated abdominal stretch. But, I mean, if that's the best you can do, you've seriously got some work to do.
I mean, yeah, it's like when you have an all-star team and you have that kid that really wants to play and their parents just wanted them to have something to do. And you know that you shouldn't put him in because you're going to lose, but you do it anyway because you just figure, why the hell not? That's kind of how I figure NXT's treatment with Eva Marie. They put her in the ring, but they make sure to really emphasize we are our own brand, and women like her, I mean, that's just the developmental aspect of it. It's mostly brand, but it's still developmental, and she kind of illuminates that. I don't know. Just keep her far away from that championship.
You know how on Total Divas they kind of complain about her training with a guy rather than just working with them?
Yeah.
I think I'm slowly starting to realize why.
Yeah.
Because sliced bread number 2 is a move that relies almost exclusively on the person taking it to lift the other person up and spin them around and actually do the move.
Right.
And I guess that I feel like Charlotte and Dana Brooke and like some of the bulkier women could do it, but like there's no way that someone smaller like a Sasha or even like more not quite as contemporary but still very recent AJ Lee, like a smaller diva, would like super duper struggle with getting Eva Marie up for the sliced bread number 2.
I just first of all, I completely agree wholeheartedly
Like
with
that's like freaking relying on Rey Mysterio to lift up like a Randy Orton to do a move. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, man, absolutely. I mean, again, I completely agree with your assessment. No contentions here. I just think what really bothers me is if the rumors are true that WWE is really looking at Eva to kind of be the face of the division, I just have to ask why.
Yeah.
When you have 4 capable women, I mean, Bayley hasn't been called up yet, but she could be called up really at any time. I'm sure they want her to have a decent run with the belt, but you get my point. You have capable women, and you go with Eva. Now, I never like to give up on anybody completely, and this isn't me giving up on Eva. It's just me saying she's not ready for this yet. There's a difference. I don't know if she'll ever be ready for it because, to your critique, she doesn't seem to possess athleticism, which is important to have if we're gonna do this and we're gonna do this right. It scares me, dude, because again, I think about Brooklyn. I think about the heights that they achieved. I even told you that Brooklyn was so insane, and the comments from the aftermath were so positive and so glowing that the next live special, October 7th, if it's not main evented by Sasha Banks and Bayley, then they missed their chance. To me, they missed the boat because Sasha Banks, I think, will be going to the main roster full time. And then who is Bayley going to have a main event with? I mean,
Emma.
Emma, maybe, but I mean, you would need to give that. I guess the program's already gotten enough time to maybe warrant that spot, but I don't know. It doesn't carry, and I love Emma to death.
It would be the rubber match too, because Emma's beaten Bayley in the last few months, and Bayley just beat Emma just recently.
That is true. I don't know, man, because I love Emma to death, and it's nothing against her, but I don't think her name has the same profile as like a Charlotte or a Sasha Banks, but maybe.
Not yet, but Sasha Banks' name didn't have as much of a profile as Summer Rae at one point.
That is true. I feel like if they really want to do it, they'll do it. That's what it comes down to because you have the women.
They want to do it. I think that they're just they're it's like they're hesitating because they're worried that if they do it and the match doesn't get received well, that it'll kind of block their chances to ever do it again.
And I can understand that. Here's going to be my final point on that issue, and then we can, I guess we can move on. Because as far as like the actual,
Yeah, I'll let you just give me a second. I just wanted to say though, I do feel like in hindsight, both of the last two takeover shows should have been main evented by the women.
I agree with that. Here's my thing, and the final point about Eva's win over Carmella. It is what it is. I don't like the fact that she's probably getting pushed, so I've pretty much concluded my thoughts on that. But as far as the women as a whole, I can understand why you didn't do it in Brooklyn. It's a new territory, 13,000. You want to have a card structured that you at least, if you try and get in the minds of the fans, will be received well. I'm sure they figured that Sasha and Bayley were going to tear the house down, but I think they thought that Kevin Owens and Finn Balor, being who they were always going to be a better selling point for tickets. I can sympathize with that. But October 7th should be in Full Sail. I didn't hear it being anywhere else. And Full Sail was proven to be very progressive with the women. Give Full Sail this women's main event, especially since you know Izzy's going to be there. And I think that would be a huge deal to see Bayley main event against Sasha. And you can even do a nice post-match moment with it. I feel like the table is set. I hope they take advantage of it. That's all I wanted to say about that.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so let's move on here. Let's talk about Tyler Breeze, John.
You mean the gorgeous one?
That would be Tyler Breeze, yeah.
Yeah. So, pretty much saying, Jushin Thunder Liger, sure, you won a little match at Takeover, but are you really the winner here? I mean, I get to walk around still being gorgeous, and you still have to wear a mask. I'm just making that Tyler Breeze face the whole time. And as far as I go, well, first he warns Jushin Thunder Liger that their business is not over,
Which I love.
I love that too, because even if it is, it's always nice for the heel to kind of keep things a little open-ended.
Right.
Yeah, and especially since you and I both know that Liger's working more dates, you never know. But then Tyler Breeze says, well, as for me, I've got something even bigger planned that I'm going to be taking to General Manager Regal. And he does that little duck face, and then he leaves. So I was trying to figure out what it was. Ashton, being the brains of the operation here, he connected two and two immediately. Tyler Breeze is more than likely going to be in the Tag Team Classic. So the question now is, who is his partner? That's going to be interesting, because we know Tyler Breeze still can't clone himself, Ashton. That's a huge problem.
Yeah. Well, it can't be CJP anymore either, because he's over in Japan as Juice Robinson.
Can you imagine the juxtaposition if they wanted to go that route, which I doubt, if they put like Tyler Breeze together with somebody like Bull Dempsey? I don't know. I could
Well, I mean, they do have a history. After all, Tyler Breeze was the one that kind of sent Bull on this downward spiral.
That is true. That is very true. I could just picture Tyler Breeze like,
dude, I just imagine they could be like warming up and prepping, and then next thing you know, like Tyler Breeze slaps Bull Dempsey in the face and starts running around the ring to test his cardio.
I can just picture Tyler Breeze holding the tag rope and just looking at Bull Dempsey with utter revulsion, like, I'm with this uggo.
That's shiver, though.
So, I don't know. Like, they could be comical, but you know what? I don't think they will be, because what Tyler Breeze has been doing...
I mean, if you want to go the complete antithesis, you could go with that Dylan Miley guy.
That's a good point, Ashton.
Because
yeah.
he's like super imposing, but he's also freaking horrifying looking.
Yeah, dude, his hands are gargantuan.
He's like a freak show. He's like a freak show.
He really, dude, that's a great idea. I love that. Because I was even getting ready to say, given what Breeze has done the past couple of months, or even if you want to go by takeovers, this takeover and the last takeover, he's definitely, even though he does comedic things, and we were having this conversation earlier when you and I were playing games with wrestling lists, there's a difference between a wrestler who can do comedy and a comedy wrestler. That's what you said. I feel like Breeze is the former. He is a wrestler that does comedic things. So he's definitely more of a serious competitor. I just wonder who they're going to team him with, especially if Breeze has any control over who his partner is. Again, this Tag Team Classic has just got my curiosity to a boil. I can't wait.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for it. So there's a lot of intrigue surrounding it, and I think it's going to happen over the course of the next 3 full weeks, dude.
Oh my God! You know what? Marcus Louis. I'm sorry.
Oh, dude, that would be such a perfect payoff too. Because remember, there were those weeks that Marcus Louis was just stalking Breeze.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that now. That's what I want now.
Nobody likes you, Marcus. Oh, and then he just leaves the apron.
Nobody.
Oh, we'll
Now
see.
you're gonna have to at least tolerate me. Oh man, that is great. That's brilliant, man. You know what wasn't brilliant though?
What's that?
Dana Brooke and Emma talking, but mostly because Dana Brooke is still the worst.
I would just like to take a moment to express my personal offense that Dana Brooke was breathing Emma's air. I feel like I'm okay to do that here. So yeah, I just wanted to air my grievances with that, if that was all right with you.
Yeah.
Just felt really offended by that happening. I don't know if you felt any kind of discomfort. I certainly did. So
I feel like if women's wrestlers were wrestling promotions, I feel like Eva Marie would be like just like a backyard promotion that nobody really cares about and that people don't really expect much from. And like anytime they do something good, it's surprising.
right.
Dana Brooke is like AAA, where like you expect a lot because they're getting this great billing and they're this big deal and they have tons of fans. And then you actually watch a show, or in Dana's Brooke, a promo or a match, or really anything she does, her existence in general. And
Oh man.
all you're left with is this kind of faint buzzing sound on your inner ear and disappointment.
So Sasha Banks is Lucha Underground, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, I just wanted to work out the metaphor.
And Becky Lynch is WWE.
All right, that sounds good to me.
Maybe Bayley's WWE.
Can Emma be New Japan?
Sure.
Yes. All right, because New Japan is Nakamura, so they win everything.
Maybe Sasha's more New Japan. Emma can have WWE.
But they treated her so poorly, though. I kind of want Emma to be Lucha Underground then. Forget it. This metaphor's lost. Anyway, this whole thing. But you know what? For as long as that got, it was still a million times better than Dana Brooke. Don't they understand that playtime's over? Yeah, Dana, we get it. God.
And it's not even like, don't they understand that playtime's over? It's, don't they understand that playtime is over?
Oh my god, that impersonation though.
I hate it so much, dude. I cannot stand her accent. It is the worst. Or should I say, I cannot stand her accent.
Oh man.
Dude,
so
I want to punch her so much, but my hands are up right now because I'm not going to. I'm not, but like, Jesus, she's the worst.
It's an impulse.
It is. I would never condone physical violence on anyone, regardless of gender. But and it's not even her face because she doesn't have an ugly face or anything. So it's not that punchable face thing. I just just her in general.
Oh, unfortunately, I really wasn't listening to what Emma was saying, which is currently why we're in a separation at the moment. But that's
I have
mainly
some
because...
good news for you, John.
Yeah.
She's still adorable.
That's true. That's true. And even though I was trying to repress the tumor that's slowly growing inside me because of Dana Brooke, Emma proved to be the cure because she's just that amazing. So I think, yeah, she just pretty much said that
I'm not going to try and speak for every wrestling fan that watches NXT, but me personally, Dana Brooke has X-Pac heat with me.
Yeah, I'd say she has X-Pac heat with me too. And I know what the infuriating thing, though, is, Ashton, like, much like X-Pac.
That says a lot, because I don't think X-Pac ever even had X-Pac heat with me.
And yeah, like I was even going to say, like I liked X-Pac in ring.
That's like Kali heat for me.
Yeah, Kali
like,
heat.
I'm not booing you because I hate you. I'm booing you because I don't want to see you anymore.
I just, and you know what the funny thing? Like, I still don't necessarily want to give up on Dana Brooke because I see something there, something. I just don't know how to put this together.
That's more than I can say. I don't see anything other than a look, and that's all it is.
You know, I don't know, man.
Incredibly unique look, and she's got like the rippling muscles and stuff. But I mean, if that's all WWE wants, they could go after any freaking female bodybuilder and they'd be set.
I'm hoping Nia Jax is better than this.
Yes.
Because we got another vignette for Nia. I don't want to like.
She's not gonna be. She's not. I don't know about her talk. I'll tell you already. She's a better talker than Dana Brooke, based exclusively on her vignette.
So wait, actually, let me ask you, because you've always been the FCW NXT guy, and you seem pretty confident in your assessment though, Nia Jax. Have you seen her compete? Or
No, I haven't seen her compete. I have no clue what she's like in the ring.
Okay, so
I haven't heard anything positive about her in the ring, but I also have never seen her personally in the ring. So
okay, so this is purely conjecture then on your part.
I'm talking about talking because like we can actually hear her speak in her vignette, and she doesn't sound nearly as terrible as Dana Brooke does.
I was even going to say, and I hope nobody takes this to be a weird comment, but I like the sound of her voice. I think she's got a great sounding voice.
I mean, she basically sounds like Tamina to me.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's maybe the vignette kind of music, but I'm like, yeah, you know what? I dig it. I don't know if she's going to be a heel though.
I mean, honestly, she kind of has like a Tamina vibe with her look too.
Yeah, I'll have to take a look at her because
you know that she's The Rock's cousin, right?
Yes, that I knew.
Her full name is Lena Fanine.
And I knew that as well because I read reports on it. It's just been a while since I've seen an image of her. I've got to look one up sometime because, she is coming soon. And I'm just thinking, man, it almost seems too poetic that the four horsewomen are all kind of getting ready to ride off into the sunset, save for Bayley, who's
I'm going to send you a picture of her so that you can see what she looks like.
Okay, I will do that as soon as I'm done talking, then I'll hand the ball back to you so I can look at the image. But, it almost seems poetic to me that the four horsewomen almost are all going to ride off into the sunset on the main roster. And then the women's division in NXT is going to be inherited by the New Guard. And, in
I think, to me, what the problem with that statement, though, is, John, the New Guard right now doesn't look great. But I think that when, like, the sort of lower tier of the New Guard works their way up, it's going to look just as strong as it was a month or two ago.
Yeah.
Because, like, when the top girls in NXT are... Like, okay, so you look, okay, Emma is a good base, kind of a good foundation to build upon, right?
Right.
Billie Kay and Peyton Royce, and they just have to find the fourth, but it doesn't necessarily have to be four. It could just be three, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, it could be. I feel like Emma's really hit her
forget the four horsemen. It's the three Australians. Like,
yeah, right? Because I feel like Emma's really hit her stride as a heel, and then, it's Billie Kay, right? Billie Kay, because I don't want to get the last name.
Peyton Royce, yeah.
Billie Kay, yeah, because I wanted to say McKay, but I wanted to get that right. So Billie Kay.
Her old name was Jessie McKay.
Right. See, so it's kind of I'm getting all discombobulated, but yeah, those two you've spoken so highly of.
They're great. I think that they need to be like where Dana Brooke is right now.
And I'll tell you something, guys. I'm looking at Nia Jax right now. Thank you for the image, by the way, Ashton. And looking at her, man. I think the booking should be pretty straightforward. She's got that look where she can really dominate people.
I have two words to describe how they should book her.
How?
Awesome Kong.
Exactly. That's the vibe I was really going for. I was going to be a lot more wordy as per usual, but you summed it up in a single soundbite. Because imagine the story, Bayley having to overcome that. That's great. That's effective storytelling. And Bayley is more of a kind of a storytelling wrestler anyway, because in ring, I won't say she's the weakest of the four horsewomen, but she's not up there with like the Sashas and the Beckys to me. So if she has a great story to work with, she's great enough in ring. Yeah, her and Nia Jax, if they would ever want to go that route in the future, I'd be down if they book Nia Jax that way. It's all heavily contingent on that. But yeah, we're talking about the future and stuff, and hopefully Emma has a nice grounding in that because I'm loving her heel work.
Yeah, and it's funny too because from what I understand, she actually, when she debuted at a house show, she was actually Devin Taylor's bodyguard.
Interesting.
So they might even introduce her as a way for Devin Taylor to get back at Dana Brooke.
Maybe. Yeah, that'd be interesting. Because Devin Taylor, I remember when you and I were talking, and I brought up to you, Ashton, Devin Taylor seems to be getting increasingly frustrated with the head pats, which happened again here to her, unfortunately. Right. And I'm like, do you think it's going to culminate in a match between Devin Taylor and Dana Brooke? And if I remember correctly, you looked at me and you said you didn't think so because Devin Taylor was still incredibly green and Dana Brooke is, Dana Brooke. So Nia Jax is kind of...
I feel like Nia Jax isn't that much better, but the kind of crutch that the larger wrestlers can fall under, and Nia Jax does have that, I don't know if she's 6 feet. I'm pretty sure she's close to it, if not taller than that. But somebody with that kind of a size advantage over their opponents, your job becomes so much easier. Because all you need to do is sell less, punch, kick, clothesline, lift them up, and drop them.
Absolutely. And Nia Jax, again, I can't stress enough, I feel like she's coming in at the perfect time with a person like Bayley as champion. Yeah. Because if she's going to get this hot push, Bayley is the perfect foil for that. Because you described the job of a monster heel perfectly. When you don't really have the athleticism like, say, well, I hate to use a male here because we're talking about women, but like a Mil Muertes is a bigger guy, but he's also got that athleticism. Nia Jax doesn't really have the athleticism being a bigger woman, but if she's dominant, if she throws him to the ground, if she has nice power offense, she can make Bayley look incredibly sympathetic when she's ragdolling her everywhere, and you tell a great story. Not that hard. It just really all comes down to how certain pieces are going to come together when all these women do their job. Bayley's got an incredible responsibility before her because now you can't really so heavily rely on Charlotte, Becky, or Sasha. So Bayley's title reign is going to be interesting because I think she's going to be working with a lot of new faces, and we're just going to have to see how it all shakes out, man. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm reading here. Apparently, she's actually a former college basketball player.
Nice.
Yeah, she's college. Since she played college basketball in California.
Well, I'm still really intrigued by the debut again. I mean, and when you see again, I feel like the segment we were talking about before this big discussion of the women's division was Dana Brooke and Emma backstage with Devin. And I mean, you look at that, Emma could be the nice heel grounding, and then everybody else just, kind of comes in and legitimizes themselves. Let's get a new division here, but let's get one that we could be proud of. I hope.
I don't think that I even said this on Tweetoff before. I don't think there's ever going to be another. And when I say never, obviously I'm not literally saying never. I'm saying anytime that we're going to be able to look back and be like, oh yeah, there was that time, and this might be better than that. As far as the NXT women's roster, I think that the last year or so has been the best that it's ever going to be.
Oh yeah, I'm right there with you, partner. My heart goes with that division personally, but yeah. I'm keeping an open mind to this one. Let's see what they got. And again, Bayley as champion leads to some interesting possibilities. And again, given what happened, later in the night, which we'll get to, I think some of those possibilities will be executed. So we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so now the last thing we talked about was the Dana Brooke thing. She had a video package too. It was the same one that we've seen a few times. Then we go to Devin Taylor, who's with William Regal. Baron Corbin shows up and asks to be in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. And he says that he doesn't play well with others, but he still wants to be in it. He needs a partner, and he expects to win the whole thing. Regal tells him, oh, that's funny because I know somebody else that doesn't get along with others. And then he brings out, well, he doesn't bring him out, but he tells him that he'll be teaming with Rhyno.
Yeah, I was really hoping for Joe. Were you, or was it just me?
I was definitely hoping for Joe, but I did predict this a long time ago, back before their match together between Corbin and Rhyno. I said that they could end up being a team.
Yeah, and their opposition, though, they know what it means to be a team. In fact, the most dominant tag team in NXT history.
Yes,
their NXT tag team. Thank goodness. They have needed something to do, and I think they're going to get a great reception at Full
I think
Sail.
they might be in the finals, dude. They might end up being in the final. They might be that legitimate team that's established that they use to put over the team that they intend to win the whole thing.
They may. I mean, again, it really depends because that again, is the ambiguity of the Tag Team Classic because if the Vaudevillains are in this, I fully expect them to go into the finals. In fact, if you want
Why would the Vaudevillains be in it when they're the champions?
See, I don't know because I haven't heard anything about this tournament being for contendership or a title.
That's what I understand it to be. From what I understand, it's a number one contenders thing.
Well, if that's the case, then obviously you exclude them. But if it's simply to determine the best tag team, then I mean, obviously you want the champions in there. So we'll have to see. But if they're not in there, then yeah, I'd agree with you with the Ascension being in there. Vaudevillains are in there. I'd see them going to the finals and honestly even losing it. So you establish your contenders just dominantly. But yeah, I would be totally cool with the Ascension being in the finals. They have needed something to do. I've missed seeing the Ascension dominate. I cannot wait for next week with this being the open match. And I guarantee you, I hope anyway, that Full Sail really gets hyped up for the Ascension, and I have no doubt they will.
They're going to be yawing their asses off.
Oh, you know it, baby. You know it.
All right, up next, we had our third match of the night. And you know what? I'm going to say it right now. The Drifter, Elias Samson, is someone I can get behind.
I like it. I'm curious about it, and I wanted to see more.
It seems like every time we see the team of Elias Samson and either Mike Ross or Steve Cutler or whoever they stick him with, he always stands out.
Yeah, definitely.
He's always the guy that we're talking about because he kind of has that, almost like that original, like, the intellectual savor the masses kind of Damian Sandow look, but he's more ripped than Sandow has ever been, I think. And I don't know, it's just like, I think that the look combined with the charisma that he kind of showed tonight, this gimmick might not necessarily be the end game, but I think that it's a good start.
I agree. I'm just glad they're doing something with Elias Samson, because if there's one thing we've learned about NXT, the gimmick you come in with may not be the same gimmick you leave with. But if you're putting the pieces on the board and you're moving them around, you're making progress to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm glad that they're moving the pieces with Elias Samson. The same way I'm glad that they put something together for Ty Dillinger in this Perfect 10 gimmick, which I still
I was
have
even
a
going to
lot of hope.
say, like, I'm so glad. And don't you dare take this to heart, John, because if you do, I'll deny it. I'm
Okay.
so happy that we're getting more colorful jobbers now.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Because
agree,
like
man.
before, like we had like back when like Aiden English was still jobbing, he was just Aiden English. He was just this guy that looked like an emaciated Cesaro. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And now and then like even like Wesley Blake was jobbing, and you know they do a lot of stuff where they have guys job and then they turn them into somebody and push them. Well, now it seems like they're kind of turning some of the guys that they're still using as jobbers into somebody before they push them.
And I love that style of NXT because, I mean, you just pretty much spoke about the precedent for it because, guys like Aiden English and Blake and Murphy, they were the precedent for it. And
Murphy never jobbed,
Elias,
don't you dare.
all right, you know who
Wesley
did job,
Blake was a jobber. I don't think Buddy Murphy ever did though.
but you know who did job? Ty Dillinger. There, I did take it hard, see? Um, but, with Elias Samson, you never know. He could be that next gimmick, that guy that's just been going from tag team to tag team, but then when he strikes out on his own, he could job a little bit, kind of doing the whole paying his dues sort of thing.
Yeah.
And whether with this gimmick or another gimmick, be on the way to a push. I mean, that's the beauty of NXT. That's why I love this particular brand, and it does call itself a brand. It has that legitimacy, sure, but it has a way of creating stars that even with the matches that you're just like, oh, it's just another squash match. You want to pay attention a little bit. Like that guy that Joe squashed a few weeks ago, that Axel Tischer.
Yeah.
I thought he had a unique
German
look.
dude.
I beg pardon?
The German dude
Yeah, the German dude. I thought he had a unique look, and I haven't forgotten about him, and I'm keeping
looked like
my
a
eyes open
freaking
for.
Viking. How can you forget about him?
Exactly. Like, he could get pushed at any point. Same thing with Elias Samson here in this Drifter gimmick. Now, he had a roadblock tonight in the sensei of Bullfit, Bull Dempsey, coming out in his, fighting kind of coat there, hood, and takes
I
that
love
off.
how into bullfit Corey Graves is.
That's great. He did such a great job here. Corey Graves is just exceptional. He's great at the commentary
Yeah,
desk.
he is.
Um, Bull did look like he slimmed down a bit, but I think to Ashton's point, because we were talking about it, it seems like Bull is he's more athletic. He isn't necessarily quote unquote in shape. He's just more athletic and has better cardiovascular health, which, I mean, is important because that's what made him fail, against Tyler
And
Breeze.
plus, I mean, even if the end game of the bullfit stuff is for him to get in better shape, it's not going to happen over 3 weeks.
No, it's not, and I'm glad that they're knowledgeable of that. And that they did this in New York. He seemed to be received pretty well. Helped that he had like the hometown advantage because they billed him as from Brooklyn. Um, had a solid outing with Elias Samson. Nothing too much to write home about, save for the finish because he gets Elias Samson and he goes to the top rope. I'm thinking he's going to do that headbutt that he's been known to do, and he pretty much does. Pretty much like a press, almost like a body press, the kind that like Finley used to do, but like off the top rope. It seemed like.
Yeah, but he landed with his ass in the guy's chest, so it was almost like
Yeah,
a bomb.
yeah.
But no, you know
That's
what? Vader bombs were gut to gut too, weren't they?
yeah,
So I'm thinking Yokozuna.
yeah. That's probably that's what you're thinking of. The bonsai drop, I
Yeah,
think. Yeah,
but it was from the top rope, so it's way more impressive.
exactly.
Although
So
admittedly, he's not anywhere close to as gigantic as Yoko was.
yeah.
Talk about Big Show being big now. He's 500 pounds. Yoko was 6 something.
Yeah, Yoko was insane. Bull Dempsey, just a human projectile off the rope. We'll call it a projectile bonsai. I'll call it that for now until commentary gives it an official finisher name.
Yeah.
And Bull gets the win. Elias Samson will have to know what it's like to, drink liquid food. And Bull Dempsey gets the win. I'm curious, though. Yeah, the end game is him getting in shape. I wonder what feuds he'll have along the way, though. If I.
I'm
Because
telling
now
you, man. I think that team up idea with Tyler Breeze has legs,
I'd like it, man.
and
I
so does Bull because he's getting fit now.
Bullfit.
I love
Yeah,
that. It's funny because it seems like right before they started the whole bullfit thing, every time he would come out, the NXT crowd would chant shit in between the bulls.
right.
It was bullshit. But then they're like, okay, how do we mend this? And they literally just turned it into something that rhymes with that. I love it.
I love it too. I'm telling you, NXT is a magical place when me and Ashley can say good things about Bull Dempsey, a guy that only a short while ago we just really were completely apathetic towards.
It wasn't even that we hated him. It's like you said, man. We just didn't give a crap.
Yeah, we really didn't give a crap about him because at least if we hate you, we're expending some kind of energy on you. Bull wasn't getting any of that.
Mojo Rawley, like we hate Mojo Rawley with a passion.
Exactly. Mojo, I'm not even going to get into that. But, Bull Dempsey, I would like to see him tag with Tyler Breeze. I would like, honestly, if he wasn't so busy with Chad Gable, and I do love the team, don't get me wrong, I'd love to see a classic, kind of jock feud. Maybe Jason Jordan making fun of Bull Dempsey's weight a little bit, and then he gets his comeuppance. Small things like that. Bull Dempsey with this gimmick is never going to be in any serious programs. That would be more heel Bull Dempsey if you wanted a monster heel. But I still think you can have a lot of fun with this gimmick, and there are some unique storylines we could do. So here's to hoping they get executed.
Absolutely, man. Well, as you said, Bull did win with that top rope bonsai drop. But then we get just boom, 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 4 different character segments in a row. Samoa Joe promo first. Talks about how much energy the Brooklyn crowd has. And John, he has a little bit of an agenda here in NXT, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he came here to win. He wants to take the top prize. He wants to fight the best. He wants to be the best. And, I've been hearing rumors that he's gunning for Finn Balor and the championship. Yeah. And if that's the next program, God help us all, because those two will just kill the place. They will.
I mean, that's what we kind of figured about Owens and Balor, and those matches didn't really live up quite to the hype, did they?
I don't think they did. Actually, their best matchup was the one where Finn didn't have the body paint, believe it or not, where it was just him as Finn Balor.
You're right too, though.
Yeah, because I just really love the story in that match of Finn having to overcome the leg and Kevin Owens just being this bully. But yeah, like the 2 demon matches were, I won't say underwhelming because I think it's a bit harsh for these guys, but yeah, like you said, didn't really make the mark. But we'll see if Joe has any kind of better luck. And yeah, I think he's gunning for that NXT title, brother.
Absolutely. Yep. He's definitely going for it. Up next, though, we had our Nia Jax vignette for the night. We already kind of talked about her. Just less excited than I am intrigued about her debut.
That's a good word. Yeah.
But then, BAMF had an interview, and I love these 3 so much.
Yeah, apparently they're thinking that they didn't lose the tag team titles, and we must have been a part of...
They got robbed, John.
Well, I respectfully disagree. But,
If you disagree, it's disrespectful.
Okay, I'm going to need you to kind of back your face up a little bit. And Devin Taylor, just pretty much like, hasn't been to lose, and Blake and Murphy were freaking out, 2 actions points saying they were robbed. Alexa Bliss is just like, boys! And they immediately calm down because, again, the control freak.
I love that so much. And then she's just like, do you really care how they feel after that loss? They were robbed. And like the inflection of her voice and her facial expressions, she is amazing now.
She is. She is so good as a heel. I mean,
telling you, dude, she's like a mini me Sasha.
Yeah.
As far as her heel work goes, like she has everything down pat as a heel. It's like, if she gets better in the ring, she's gonna. There's our 4th person. Frickin' A, dude.
Yeah, dude, you know what? And it's funny because I can't even say that you and I arrived at that conclusion first. A lot of people have been looking for Alexa Bliss in this role to get in a program with Bayley. They want to see it. I would thoroughly enjoy that, I think. So, yeah, we can, put Alexa Bliss down there. But she calls out Blue Pants, being like, oh, you stuck your nose where you didn't belong. You stuck your nose in our business. And next week it's going to be Alexa Bliss versus Blue Pants, to which I reply, Alexa Bliss, you ain't got nothing. So that's what I have to say about that.
Wait, are you a Blue Pants fan now, too?
Yeah, because she's associated with the vaudeville and she completes the troop. So, yeah, Blue Pants all the way.
Okay.
Yeah, it's happening.
I didn't know that you were suddenly a Blue Pants fan.
Only by proxy with the Vaudevillains, who I believe will come out there with Blue Pants next week to even those odds, though.
So, out of curiosity, John.
Yeah.
if the Vaudevillains came out and endorsed Mojo Rawley.
Ooh, I think I just felt myself get an ulcer. Ooh, we'd have to have a little bit of a manly chat about that. No fisticuffs. I wouldn't want to sully my suit, but I'd be mad as hops. That's for sure.
Oh my God!
Oh, I think I need an extra strength Tums. That was pretty bad.
They don't have Tums in the 1800s, John. Pick up your mind.
Get me a leech. I don't know. I need something.
That's a great idea.
All right, so what do we got next, man? Do you have anything else you want to say about like Blue Pants versus Alexa Bliss next week?
I'm looking forward to that. Other than the Tag Team Classic, that's the thing next week that I'm looking most forward to.
Now, let me ask you this, Ashton. Does she have a contract, or is she still just whatever? Because there's a lot of speculation.
From what I understand, she still does not have a contract.
That is a travesty.
She is a legitimate independent contractor. I don't know if I should say contractor. She's a legitimate independent kind of entity.
Because here's the thing, like all jokes,
awesome too. Like that works out so well for her because now not only does she get that WWE money when they sign her for an appearance, but she can work indie dates, and the fact that she has NXT appearances ups the money that she can ask for in the indies, and she has a shirt with WWE that she's making money off of for royalties.
Well, I'll be damned, Ashton. You know what? I was getting ready. I was spinning on the hands, rubbing them together. I was ready to go up to bat for Miss Blue Pants here to get a contract, but the way you posit it.
If I had to guess, she's probably, she might also be doing a hell of a lot more work, but she's making more money right now than Bayley probably is.
Wow, you know what? I'll be damned, Ashton. You made me just think, you know what? Take your time signing her if at all. I guess she does have a pretty sweet deal after all. But
she's hustling right now, man. It's crazy too if you think about it because she's basically an NXT talent, and we just saw NXT sell out a 15,500 person crowd, and so she's making money every time NXT brings her in, but she's also making that WWE merch money from the shirt sales. And not only is she still being able to work indies, but her indie stock is rising because of the exposure she's getting on NXT.
Right, yeah.
She's got such a good deal going right now. Like, I honestly kind of feel bad for indie wrestlers that have to work on the same show as her because, if it wasn't for this whole NXT thing, they would be, she wouldn't make nearly as much as she probably is.
Power of the pants, baby. I dig it. All right. Anything else you want to say, or can we move on?
No, man. I'm looking forward to their match, though. I think I just kind of want to see where Alexa Bliss is at in the ring.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you there. Seeing her work heel one-on-one with somebody like Blue Pants who has shown she can sell and everything, it'll be a good test for Bliss.
Yeah. I think Blue Pants has to win, though, doesn't she?
You know what? I would say so because, again, I think the Vaudevillains will be out there to even the odds. I could see them having a scuffle with Blake and Murphy on the outside. Alexa Bliss being a control freak loses her shit. Blue Pants capitalizes. She gets the win. Yeah.
So up next we had a Charlotte video package, and that led us right into our main event of the evening, Fatal 4-Way, Emma, Dana Brooke, Becky Lynch, Charlotte, also known as Triple Threat, Emma, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte.
Oh, man. I love how we just we treat Dana Brooke worse than that Sasha Banks Bayley video package treats Bayley with the whole fade out effect of the Four Horsewomen.
Oh, I wish we could do that to Dana Brooke. Slowly fade her out of this match.
See, dude, I wanted to give a review, but now your whole imitation earlier in the review is kind of going in my head, and it's just too hilarious.
I saved you. You see, I did it again, John.
Oh my god. It's worse than, what was that girl's name on Bob's Burgers? It's been so long since I watched an episode of that. I forget.
Yeah, I don't remember what it
Jocelyn, I think it was.
Jocelyn, that's what it was, yeah.
Yeah, it's like Jocelyn is like Dana Brooke's daughter or something, but you can never do it worse than the original, and Dana Brooke is the original. It's horrifying.
Well, and the problem with that is that Jocelyn's not really using an accent. She just has an annoying way of talking. With Dana Brooke, it's the annoying way of talking and an accent that makes it even worse. And it's so crazy because am I the only one that when I see Dana Brooke, I think that she's like Czechoslovakian or something?
I don't think you're the only one because I think I had that impression of her.
Her appearance and some of the different things that she says. Sometimes she talks like she's just straight up freaking from outer space or something, because she doesn't make any sense sometimes. But yeah, like every time I see her, I feel like she's like Russian or like from like the Czech Republic or something like that, man. Like, I don't know, like Eastern Europe.
I'm curious about something though, because sometimes on Twitter we talk about performers that you hate so much, we kind of relate it to certain medical conditions you've got going on. I mean, we know you're repressing a lot of stuff. Has Dana Brooke given you a twitch, or are you kind of you okay with that right
Sometimes when
now?
she cuts promos, I get a little twitch.
You should probably get that checked out. Just
I
a
mean,
bit
when
of
she's
friendly.
working in the ring, I can just ignore her unless it's a one-on-one match, which this wasn't, so it was all good. But yeah, when she's talking, my right eye just kind of has a mind of its own.
I mean, I'm just gonna kindly push you in the direction of getting that checked, but you do what you want. Um,
It's not a physical issue; it's psychological. I promise.
well, yeah, I know a guy if you want his card, but
You
Dana
know,
Brooke,
48
thankfully,
guys.
beg pardon.
You know, like 48 guys in that
Okay,
case.
okay, this isn't about me, and it's 56 now, but that's neither here nor there. The important thing is that Dana Brooke, she was isolated, I guess, for the first little half because Charlotte and Becky Lynch were really working together, and the little teasing exchange that they had with the headlock and everything, that was nice. They really played up to the crowd, really teasing the tension there. Then the second half was more the heels until they had a breakdown with Emma and Dana Brooke, and Ashton's invitation that actually happened in the match because Dana Brooke broke up the pin. She was like, "There, I'm not even gonna try and do the accent. There, I saved you," and just bragging all that stuff. And then it broke down with those two. Match was good. I think Becky Lynch actually was kind of MVP in ring while she was suplexing everybody and kind of wearing her ass off. Even to the
And
point where
she ate the pin too.
and she ate the pin, yeah, because of Emma. Emma won this freaking match, guys. My wife got the win in this
But
fatal
I
four.
do agree with you though. I do agree that it really did feel like the Becky Lynch show, man. Like Charlotte had some of her kind of signature offense that she got in, but at one point Dana and Emma teamed up on Charlotte and kind of took her out of business. And then, or no, that's not what it was. They shoved Becky into her so that she accidentally collided with Charlotte, and Becky was just like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry." And then she just went into like this crazy like freaking monster mode, man, and she just started doing everything to Becky or to Dana and Emma.
Yeah, man, she even got Suplex City chance. It was that
Yeah.
great.
Well, I mean,
Uh,
she hit like a pump handle suplex, which is kind of like her new finisher now, I guess, in WWE on the main roster. She hit it looked like a T-bone or two or three, I don't remember. Yeah, she was tossing out the suplexes left and right.
she had a beautiful bridging hammerlock on Charlotte early in the match. That
That
was actually
was
one of the
really
yeah.
impressive. That felt like almost like an exhibition too. That was so cool because like they immediately we got a lock up where it's like one of the two girls from PCB with one of the two girls that are kind of the heels in this match, and then the other one with the other one, and they kind of matched up, and immediately the two girls that were on PCB threw them out of the ring, and they just kind of got down to business. Like, okay, now let's show these people what we can do.
Yeah, yeah, I loved it, dude. I really got to say, the whole booking of this match just felt so right to me because, like I said, you have the babyface doing their little tease. You
You know
have
what?
the
The booking of the match itself, I agree. I didn't like the post match.
post match, I didn't care for either.
I
Left a sour taste in
I'm
my mouth.
convinced that the finish to this match was a botch.
Me as well.
I
Yeah,
feel like Becky
yeah.
was supposed to kick out, and then everything that Charlotte did after the match was over was supposed to happen during the match, and Charlotte was supposed to win.
So, in a way, Emma stole a win from Charlotte. I don't know why, but I'm even happier about that, and I know I shouldn't be, but like, damn. Which means anything that Charlotte was getting ready to do, because I don't know if this Fatal 4-Way is going to have, further implications. I guess you have no choice but to go with Emma now. But, yeah,
Oh,
she,
and speaking of botched finishes, I don't know if you heard this, but apparently there was a really bad botched finish at the most recent set of tapings where they might not show everything because they also included like Kevin Owens walking out with the title just to screw with people on the internet.
right.
Eva Marie
So,
forgot. It was another situation where Eva Marie just straight up forgot to kick out of a pin.
oh, God.
I think it was a match with Peyton Royce, and Peyton Royce got the 3 count, and the ref just didn't count the 3 because Eva Marie forgot to kick out.
Well, you know what? Give Peyton Royce the damn win.
Yeah,
She's
that's what I was saying, man. Like, I feel like, oh, sure, Emma gets the win when there's a botch, but Peyton Royce can't have one.
Well, I'd appreciate if we don't bring my wife into this. It's making it a little personal now.
I will
but
bring your children into this when it comes to Peyton Royce. Are you kidding me?
Okay, well, first of all, I mean, I'm going through a dispute with that. I'm trying to give Emma full custody. I want nothing to do with that. So you can do what you want there. But I mean, my wife.
She means she doesn't want full custody?
Neither of us do really. It was.
Put him up for adoption, John. Seriously.
I'm trying to, man. It's a real bitch. But anyway, I mean, I agree. Give Peyton Royce the victory. I'm happy for Emma though, stealing something from everybody. And Charlotte, I gotta say this, dude, and I say this with all the love in the world because I don't hate Charlotte by any means. But I'm asking this legitimately too. I'm not trying to be a smart ass.
No, John, you say you don't hate Charlotte. I'm seriously beginning to dislike her though.
Really?
Yeah.
To me, like,
it's just souring on me. Like, the more stuff that I see from her, the more promos I see her cut, the more interviews she does, I just like her less and less.
I just want to know from her, and again, this isn't me being a smartass, it's a very sincere question. Does she want to go heel? Because I feel like it's her instinct to just do heelish things. Like, she spears Emma, which was entirely uncalled for, and I am thinking about pressing charges for the record. I'm taking Kofi's advice on this one.
You should.
And she hooks the leg. She does her own count, and to Brooklyn's credit, they count with her. So I guess that diminishes the kind of, oh, what a heelish thing, because, the crowd's behind her. And she screams, I don't even need a ref. Shut up, you and your nepotism. Nobody asked you. And then, Dana Brooke gets taken out. And then, when they've proven their point, Becky and Charlotte, what do? Oh, wait, well, Emma's right there. Dana's right there. Why don't you put Dana in the disarmor? I'll put Emma in the figure eight, and we'll just totally be baby faces. What? I don't understand anything anymore. This was just so confusing to me, and it just really leads me to...
Yeah, we're going to make your arm hurt, and then we're going to be really awesome.
Exactly.
People will cheer for us then when we make your arm and leg hurt, respectively.
I'm sorry, I have to keep laughing at WWE, and I know we like to make NXT distinct from WWE, but it is all a part of the conglomerate in the end. Yeah. I have to laugh at these actions when you have a commercial preceding it with Roman Reigns with his hair looking all right. Do you know 70% of kids have reported seeing bullying in their schools? No, Reigns, I haven't. But did you know apparently that when a person wins a match, they can't even enjoy a nice post-match celebration without being assaulted? How's that for a statistic? Like, what is this?
Oh my god.
A workplace environment needs to be a better priority for WWE. It's unbelievable. Now I have to worry about my wife when she goes off to work to provide because I'm too busy reading from the Kevin Owens handbook of fatherhood. This is an outrage.
I thought you guys were putting him up for adoption now.
I don't know what I want. I'm confused.
You really need to make up your mind. Those kids' lives are going to depend on you.
Oh, please. I'm the same guy that said if I ever had kids, I would deliberately wrap coal for Christmas and watch their tears. I don't really think I care too much about their future. But more importantly, what I do care about, though, is the future of the women's division, because if Emma's going to establish herself as the contender after Sasha, who is owed a rematch, and again, who I want to main event the next TakeOver with Bayley October 7th, this Fatal 4-Way was a good start, especially if she stole it from Charlotte. So I'm happy.
That makes you feel so good.
It does, because you know why, Ashton? She hijacked it with flair. Oh, yeah! All right, I'm
that felt like an Adam Cole thing.
Adam Cole! Baby!
Praise be.
Praise be, Mother Fuhrers. Praise be. All right. Do you have anything else? God. What was that?
No.
You can? All right, no. All right. Next segment, high spots and low shots.
I was so confused. You were like, next segment. I was like, wait, this was the end. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
No, you were talking about next TWitWoW segment.
Yeah, buddy.
That's right.
Low shot. You know what? I'm going to give low shot. I'm going to give it to Becky Lynch. Because
she got pinned, man.
She got pinned, and then immediately after the pin, she shoots the shoulder up, and she's probably thinking, oh, shit. Yeah. Like, oops. So, yeah, Becky, I don't know what happened there, if it was deliberate, if that wasn't meant to happen. It had a pretty sucky night, though, and then you end up looking like a bully. And given the statistics that Roman Reigns just alerted me of, I'm very concerned. So, you are my low shot.
Oh, my God.
Who's your low shot?
Apparently Roman Reigns. I think my low shot is just gonna keep it simple. Chad Gable.
Oh yeah, got pinned.
Yep.
You know what? My high spot's gonna be Emma.
Yeah.
Because despite the fact that we're going through a separation, we both equally loathe our children, and the fact that she was just a victim of workplace violence, she still emerged from it all courageously, and she got the winning pin in a fatal four-way, thereby solidifying her claim to a future NXT Women's Championship match. It's a great night for the Evolution, despite the fact that it's become a full-on dictatorship. And baby, I like it. There you
I'm
go.
so confused about your relationship with Emma. I thought you got happily married. Now you're going through a divorce.
Dude, if we were a Facebook status, it's complicated. So there you go.
Okay, now un-Facebook statusify that.
Well, then I guess as far as my feelings for her, it's irrelevant. She's moved on.
Oh.
I laugh to mask the pain. But anyway, who's your high spot?
Still call her your wife quite a bit.
It's a clinginess. I'm working through it.
Is that like a coping mechanism?
This isn't about me. But who's your high spot?
I made it about you.
Well, this is really awkward. I didn't mean for this to be an inadvertent therapy session. I mean, Lord knows I put 5 years in the relationship. I only ask for a little bit, but do I get it? No. But again, this isn't about me. So if you could just kindly tell us who's the high spot, maybe I could pick up the kids on time once in a while. Oh God, why am I such a failure?
Okay. I really want to make my high spot Alexa Bliss just for having such a great promo style, but I'm gonna keep it simple again, and I'm just gonna make my high spot Enzo Amore.
Great. Dude, Enzo and Cass lit the place on fire.
Yeah, absolutely. They were kings.
Yeah, totally owned it. Can't say anything more than that. Yep. Completely agree with that. Do you have anything else you want to say about this episode of NXT?
No, sir.
All right, guys, with that said, this has been NXT. This has been TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John. That's my cohort and commentary, Ashton. Guys, be sure to comment and subscribe on YouTube. What did you think of this hour-and-a-half episode of NXT? Here are my questions as follows. 1, do you think Bayley and Sasha Banks are going to main event the next TakeOver special? 2, do you think Emma's kind of positioned herself as the next number one contender after Sasha? But the really meaty question here is going to be a two-parter. A, what teams do you think we'll see in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic? And B, which team do you ultimately think is going to win the Tag Team Classic?
You have 30 seconds, and your time starts now.
Yeah, feel my pain, everyone else. Sorry. But be sure to take this conversation over to Tweetoff, an amazing pro wrestling group on Facebook. A lot of great people there. If you don't want to do that, if you think Facebook is just awful, I sympathize. Trust me, I do. So Ashton's created a TwitWoW subreddit. There you're going to find all of our TwitWoW content, and you're also endowed with the power to create any pro wrestling related threads that you would like to talk about any subjects pertaining to pro wrestling with Ashton or myself.
Bury another social media site, John.
Beg pardon?
I said bury another social media site.
Twitter sucks, except now, I guess they made some upgrades that are good, but that's not the point. Point is, yeah, those
Screw
are your
MySpace. It's the worst.
Yeah, I don't even know MySpace is still a thing. If you're still on MySpace, and I never really like to judge others, okay, who am I kidding? I love to judge others. You should be ashamed of yourself. Sorry.
No one even remembers you, Zanga.
Yeah, and it's not about the fact that I still have an AIM email. This isn't about me. Okay. Now, with that said, we'll see you guys again, hopefully for an ROH review this Saturday. If not, because we never know with that, I'm thinking we'll see you again, because again, no more Raw reviews for the remainder of this year, for Lucha Underground rewatch and another NXT review. So you'll either see us again,
unless we manage to be able to watch ROH.
Yeah, like I said, if we're able to watch ROH, you're gonna get an ROH review Saturday. If that doesn't happen, you guys can see us again for episode 4 of Lucha Underground Rewatch, where we just delve further into the insanity that is the Glorious Temple. So, with that said, guys, hope you enjoyed this episode. Tune in, and peace out.